a brief introduction really onto why we felt as a commission that this reimagining attitudes and changing the way that our society views disabled people and older people is so important to being as an enabler to seeing the change that Anna talked about we're wanting to see. So I think we can all agree that social care has been at the lower ends of the priority and has for a long time people have been asking for change and reform, and we've had lots of promises, and it's, you know, so we all know, I think, a lot of the problems that we're all facing in social care at the moment. And I think part of the reason for that has been it's not really been a political priority, but it's also not really been a social priority and seen as something that actually people are calling for in their own lives. You know, you're not hearing people writing to their, you know, ministers often say, I don't get any letters about social care, and it doesn't feel like something that people own and care about. And I think there are a few reasons for that. I think it's badly misunderstood. I think Neil will touch on this, but often when, you know, we talk to a member of the public, they will feel that it's about care homes and about older people. And actually we know that a third of social care users now are of working age, and we know that a lot of care, the majority of care actually happens out in the community and in people's own homes. But there's also a much wider aspect of social care than what people often think about, the kind of getting washed and dressed, rather than it being about people being able to live their lives and contribute to the society that we all want to live in. There is an element, I think, of the sort of denial factor that people don't want to think that they'll ever really need social care, and so they sort of don't really engage with it. But I think what we really heard a lot and talked about as a commission was around this idea that actually there's quite a lot of othering that's going on, and this sense that social care affects other people over there and it is not about all of us. And so we were quite clear that actually from the theology back this up, you know, that everybody matters. And I think from a rights perspective also, we would all agree that actually, yes, everybody has the right to a good, decent life. But that actually the way often social care has been talked about, and politicians talk about it, the media talk about it, and I think society, we often think about it, is it affects other people, it affects disabled people, it affects older people, but it's not about us and it's not about all of us. So as a commission, we were very clear that actually we wanted social care to be seen as something that was vital to a well-functioning, happy community, to society, that disabled and older people could be part of their local community and feel an equal part of that community. And we did hear from a lot of people that actually they didn't feel able to participate or an equal part in their communities. And we heard that there were a lot of assumptions, and I think there's a lot of lazy stereotypes out there that have kind of seeped through our society for a long time, that are some of the things that we need to sort of challenge. The fact that we all want really the exact same things from our lives. I'm just going to read the Social Care Future Vision because I think, you know, it sums it all up. And you'll all have heard this before, but I'm going to read it again. We all want to live in the place we call home, with the people and things that we love, in communities where we look out for one another, doing the things that matter to us. So that's fundamentally what we should all want from our lives. And just because you might be disabled or later on in your life, that doesn't change. So I think the Archbishop's Commission, we actually talked about having a life where you can flourish. We talked about everybody flourishing in their life, which again is a very similar idea. And the House of Lords report that I was also involved with came out in December, called it a gloriously ordinary life. You know, this is about us all at whatever stage of life being able to have that equal opportunity and that sense of, yes, I can live my life how I want to, as can everyone else. And some of us will need some support to do that at certain times, and that's where social care may well step in. But it's also about the broader sort of idea of what keeps us well in our communities. Social care is not just the formal services that people might receive when they need some more substantial support. It can just be that actually you feel connected to your local community and you feel less isolated, and it keeps people well, it keeps people in their own homes. I think there's something definitely around language. Too often we've heard people being described as vulnerable or social care is often talked about looking after people. And that then takes away everyone's sense of agency, and it implies that we are just sort of there to be, that we don't have control over our lives and that we don't want those same things in life. And again, it's that othering that we come back to so often, that it's a different group of people that they need looking after rather than us, and that we should all be looking after each other equally. And it's reciprocal, right? I look after people, they look after me. It's not a case of one group needs looking after by another group. I know for me personally, as a disabled person, just the other week, coming back on the bus, it was late at night, it was raining, and the bus driver said to me, said, "Oh, so you like coming out in the rain, do you?" And I was like, not particularly, but And they said, "Well, where are you going?" So I said, "I'm going home. I've been working in London." And his face, he literally did the shocked emoji face. Like, he was like, "You can work?" And that's because I'm in a wheelchair. And he just made that instant assumption that I was sort of like, therefore less capable in some way. And we all need support in different ways through our lives, and we need to somehow change that message that actually we all deserve that support in whatever way, but that also enables us all to contribute and be part of society. And I think we have felt at Social Care Future, and the Commission agreed, and the House of Lords report agreed, that unless everybody feels the need for social care to change and be better and to be enabling us all to live those lives that we want, the political pressure, it will be very hard. Sorry, as a nurse keeps ringing me, it'll be very hard to build that political pressure to get that real change that we want.